Because her testimony was rehearsed. She had to say that yesterday. She can't go back on it. This ain't no YSL Woody shit. You get your immunity and act up. Can't do it. But this is cross. If you want to help Diddy, she could start taking some responsibility. Or don't remember certain facts. Okay? That's if she want to help Diddy and did the wink, wink. Let me get the deal from the government and then close that back door. Don't get snaked by your homie. You get me? Let's see. Garrigo says, it was your choice to participate in that lifestyle for many years, huh? You didn't want to break up with him, right? She says, I didn't want to. Garrigo says, you had sex with other men for years, right? I'm surprised there wasn't an objection here. Remember, they can't talk about her sexual history because she's a victim. But they allowed it. Jane says, I resent the emotional control. I was hooked from the start. There was pressure to perform these acts my lover desired. Garrigo says, you use the word partner again and again on direct. He was your partner? She says, yes. Garrigo says, you said you're having trouble answering for yourself while you had sex with these men. She said, yes. Garrigo says, are you in therapy now? She says, yes. Do you love Mr. Combs? I love to spend time with my partner. You want to cuddle with him? I like to give him foot rubs. You said, objection. It said, counselor's making herself a witness. Jane says, I love to bathe with Sean, and we watch his favorite show. What show is that? He loves some Dateline. Did you believe he was not doing this with anyone else? Well, during this time period, yeah. You ever look at his messages? You ever going through his phone? Yeah. He was vulnerable in those hotel rooms. That's what she's saying. And I shared that with him. It was conflicted. I was breaking all my boundaries so he would feel loved. Garrigo says, so this brought you two together? Jane says, yes. Our lovemaking afterwards. That's why I enjoyed it. Garrigo says, did you try to be very sexy to him in those rooms? Jane says, I think I was sexy in those rooms. Yeah. Garrigo says, yeah, that's because you're a beautiful woman, right? Did you ever choose the wardrobe? Jane says, initially he did. Okay. Garrigo says, he liked the baby oil. It turned him on? She says, yes. Garrigo says, how old were you when you started this relationship with Mr. Combs? Got him. Butter her up. Time for the kill shot. You're not 22-year-old Cassie. You're not 22-year-old Cassie. Or really 19 when he met Cassie at first. No way. You're 35. You're a cougar. Stop playing. 35. Okay.
I was looking at her stream.
What are your examples of
she was playing,
fantasy talks in those rooms?
She was playing a
Jane
game
says he would have me and the
wanted
entertainer
to play for a while.
role play. It was a cheating role
go
play.
home and play Fortnite.
That we would role play that Sean left town, and I would be cheating on him with this man. That's odd. But anyway, Diddy would enjoy role play.
We gotta find a way to
where the women would be cheating on him. But it's so odd because he would try to kill every nigga that she would actually cheat with him on. You know what I'm saying? His fantasy was role play like you cheating on me. Act like I left town. But then when the girl cheated outside of those hotel nights, he would try to kill the nigga and her.
Yeah, I'm coming down, gather some random.
All right.
Going up
How
to
high were your heels?
600 out.
She said 6 or 7 inches.
Crashing down together.
Usually I try to wear the 3 to 4 inch heels.
$1.
So you said
And
you
if
wanted
this
your
ends up being the lad's wedding,
child
this would be
to be
easily the most.
closer to your child's father. But did the father ever see the child?
Kick.
Jane
Come on,
says,
man.
what does
I
that have
appreciate it,
to do with
but I've
this?
been
Wow.
playing Apex for how many hours?
Remember, there's not an objection. Usually for that, it's usually
Yeah.
objection, relevance. That's what objection,
Link?
relevance.
No, that's not a poker link.
What's the relevancy of this question? The judge is usually going to say, ask the defense attorney. The defense attorney will be like, hey, we're getting somewhere. We're laying a background, whatever. And they might be like, sustained or overruled. But AUSA hasn't jumped in. I'm wondering why. So, but she says herself, what does this got to do with anything? Garrigo says, who flew you weekly to Miami to see Mr. Combs? She says sometimes. I don't know who, but maybe she's talking about her baby daddy? Don't know. Garrigo says, we listened to 5 voice notes in which Mr. Combs sounded angry.